Brad Price is a business person living in what is usually seen as the red state of Texas. Brad, good day to you, good morning to you in Texas. It's the end of the Trump era, the beginning of the Biden era. How are you feeling this morning in the United States?
Yeah, I think there's an air of optimism, also an air of sort of bittersweet recognition of where we are as a country. You know, today, as we inaugurate Joe Biden as the 46th president, there is a celebration of democracy itself, of sort of the American resilience. But then there's also the negative side, which is the streets of Washington, D.C. are currently covered with national U.S. National Guard. We have more troops deployed in Washington, D.C. than we have in Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan combined, which I think is a sad statement given what today means to the core of American democracy. But I think what's also true is that despite that, we continue to push forward. And so, as an American citizen today, and it's less to do with the fact that there is a new president, as it were, and more to do with the fact that we are hopefully closing the book on a really difficult and trying chapter for the United States with a president who's not acted in the best interests of the country.
I mean, from what you're saying, it would seem that you hope, you believe that the United States is going to get better rather than worse from here.
That's absolutely true. That is my hope. And I think that Joe Biden is well equipped for this challenge. He's obviously been dealt a pretty difficult hand as he enters office today with the COVID pandemic, the economy struggling as a result of COVID, and then also the sort of highest level of, distrust and disunity within the country since the Civil War. So it is certainly a challenging time, but Joe Biden, after 47 years in government, has a good and solid reputation as being someone who reaches across the aisle, who's able to work with both sides. He's been very clear from the beginning of his campaign that his mission is to try and heal the soul or save the soul of the nation, that there are no such things as blue states and red states, and rather we are the United States, and he's here to be the president of all Americans. And so obviously, look, that's something that most folks say, but Joe Biden, I think, has a bit of a reputation for standing by that and really trying to kind of pass policy, and create an agenda that does include all sides. And so do I think it's going to be easy? No. Do I think he'll win over everyone? No. I don't think any president ever has or ever will. But as a whole, my hope is certainly that over the next 4 years, he is able to work towards bringing the country back together, to have healthy disagreements with one another rather than this kind of toxic disunity.
Brad, I mean, is there one thing? I mean, what for you would be the most important thing you think would make the United States a better place to live in for you and for your family?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think, and that perhaps this comes as one of the fundamentals to America, and it's a difficult thing to change. And this is certainly, as a South African-born citizen coming to the United States, living here 5 years now, being an American citizen, one of the things that's become very clear is, in the U.S., the individual sort of reigns supreme. Everything is about me, myself, and I, and my rights, my freedoms. And so, I think often people kind of miss this bigger idea of the common good that is generally accepted in other free countries. And so, as we've seen in the COVID pandemic, people saying things like, I don't want to wear a mask because it infringes on my rights and I shouldn't have to be muzzled. But there's not a recognition that actually that may benefit and continue to serve someone else's freedom. And so I think this idea that we really do coexist in this wonderful country, and it's not a bad thing to be considerate of others, even if it does come at some kind of personal cost. I think that would be a really wonderful thing for this country. Again, you're never going to it's hard to get 10 people to agree to the same thing, let alone 350 million. So I'm all for rigorous debate over different policies and plans and how best to, move the country forward, to improve the economy, to bring unemployment down, all of those different factors. I think it's healthy to have diverse opinions in the room. But at a fundamental level, Americans need to go back to what I think they've been used to before, which is a greater kind of hospitality towards one another.
Brad Price, thank you very much indeed.